One of the things I hear the most from people that are around me in my inner circle is, Brian, how do you balance it all? How are you a father, 25 years old, have a full-time job, growing a business from the bottom up, being completely debt-free, having kids, and previously even doing my degree and accomplishing that. And as they ask me all the time, how do you balance it all? The honest truth, I don't. Because balance, again, is a myth. When you are trying to break through the things that you have learned habitually and through generation of your cultural context, when you're trying to do that, balance and your concept of balance is a pure myth. It is completely biased to whatever your situation is and your context is, then that will be your balance. And the fact of the matter is that the balance that my context brings me is a balance that leads me to being broke and stuck for years and years and years. If I want to accomplish the goals I want in the time frame I want, then I need to be willing to do the things that others are not willing to do. I have to be willing to break this so-called balance in order to accomplish goals. I have to be willing to wake up early, go to sleep late, and work on the things that I need to work on in order to accomplish what I want to accomplish. Doing this isn't easy, but you know what? It's worth it. It's worth it for me. And maybe to others it's not, but what matters is it something that you are willing to do to accomplish your goals? If that's the case, then you know what? Figure it out. Do it. Don't just give up on those goals because of the so-called balance you need to accomplish. Balance is a myth. You know, so many times that I deal with the struggle of feeling the guilt of maybe sometimes having to not be there when the kids wake up, or not be there necessarily for the full amount of time that my kids are around. And many times it means I have to go and I have to be in the office. I need to put in the work. I need to be able to put in whatever the business that needs me to do in order for it to go further. And many times there's a period of time where you have to do these things. But you know what I have found I've needed to do many times in the mornings when my kids are on the way to maybe go to school? I have woken up early, put in hours of work, and I've had to be able to at least get the opportunity to give my kids a kiss goodbye and be able to say, hey, have an amazing day at school. And you know what it's all for? To be able to give them a better future. But you know what? In due time, I will be able to have more opportunity, more openness to be able to be with them. And it all depends on how much you're willing to put in the work in the beginning. Many people are not willing to put in that work, willing to put in different sacrifices. And let me be clear, my kids are not left alone. My kids are with my wife. My kids are with her, and they have full dedicated time and uninterrupted time from someone that loves them dearly, who is my partner. If my partner is with them, I am more than happy to be able to focus on the business and dedicate them just time, but maybe not every single moment from beginning to end of the day with them. Again, you have to be willing to put in sacrifice, and there's an internal guilt as a father that you will deal with for these things. But you know what? Being a provider, you know what? Being someone that will bring a better future and not have them be stuck for the rest of their lives as well, and have to struggle with what I'm struggling with, is why I'm willing to make these sacrifices for them to be able to have a brighter future and not have to deal with these things like I have to deal with it. Again, internal tug of war is a reality that every single parent deals with. But you know what? If you're willing to sacrifice, if you're willing to put in the work, you build a brighter future today for your kids so that they don't have to do it themselves. Break those excuses of balance and begin to build the future that you desire for your children, and the future that they will be able to celebrate and have for the rest of their lives. That means a few years of that, then go ahead and do it and bring that to them. Of course, I'm not saying don't pay attention to them. I'm not saying don't dedicate them time. I'm not saying don't be present, because I'm very much present in my kids' lives. But have someone, maybe your partner has to dedicate more time than you. Maybe that's the case for you. But whatever it is you got to do, try to figure it out and forget about these myths of balance. Don't focus on what these people are saying, because the reality is that the so-called balance, again, is only based on whatever every single personal opinion and biased opinion is. let me break that down a little bit for you, because I know I'm talking about the myth balance and about how it's a biased opinion. But the reality is, let me give you this example. The balance of a single parent person that has no kids is a complete different balance than a parent or than a single mother. Balance in different contexts are different things, and it looks different for different people. So again, what is really balance? Is there something that everyone could has strict for the rest of their lives? No, not really. Maybe one moment you're dedicating 80% to the business. Maybe one moment you're dedicating 100% to family. Maybe one moment you're dedicating 80% to your work and your full-time job, if that's your case in your situation. In different situations, you're dedicating different things. When I'm with my family, I'm dedicating 100% to my family. When I'm with my business, I'm dedicating 100% to my business. When I'm with my job, I'm dedicating 100% to my job. In different situations, I'm doing different things. In different days, I'm doing different things. So what really is balance? To me, it's an illusion. It's an illusion that many people build in order to find this so-called mental health sanity that you need to have. But as long as you feel good, as long as you feel healthy, and I'm not saying that mental health isn't a reality, it is, but as long as you feel healthy, put in the work, put in the time you need to put in, and show off for your family at the same time. You can do it. It is more than possible to do. But you have to surpass that reality and lie that many people tell you about the so-called balance you need to find. The math really doesn't add up. You're not going to be able to dedicate the same time every single day. And you are going to dedicate sometimes more time to certain things than to others. It is not really a balance. It's more of a seesaw. In different moments, it's changing. It's not a scale that you stand on and it's one fixed number. It is not that. It's a seesaw. It changes depending on the situation that you have. Don't lie to yourself and tell you that it's all about balance every single moment of your life. Right now, maybe the seesaw is tipping toward more business time. And later on, it's going to tip to more kids' time. And maybe that is the reality that you need to accept. And maybe that is the thing that has stopped you from building your business, has stopped you from accomplishing your goals and going further in your life. But let me stop here for a second and let me talk to those who are the married people out there. If you are out there with a family, if you have a partner, it is so important to have an alignment and have clarity with that partner. Many times when I have to wake up early, 6 in the morning, to begin to work on my business things, my wife has to wake up. She doesn't wake up as early as me, but she has to wake up a bit earlier than she would wake up if I were there with her, helping her with the kids, making them breakfast, getting them ready for school, and dropping them off. If my wife isn't understanding what I'm trying to do with this business, my goals, my why I'm doing it, why I'm working hard for it, why she needs to help me out, why she needs to wake up, if she doesn't understand the why of all of it, then you, my friend, are going to struggle, because your partner is your partner in everything. As they say, your partner in crime. If your partner isn't there with you, your business is going to struggle, because it's hard to juggle all the things you have to do, and you can't put business over family without having someone to take over your family. You can never do that. My family always goes over my business, but you know what? I could dedicate more time to my business because my partner is there. My spouse is there to take care of the things that maybe I would be taking care of. She could pick up a little bit more slack here from my side of my family so that I can pick up more with the business. Later down the future, maybe the things change. Again, it's a seesaw. It changes depending on the situation your life is in. But let me be clear. If you have a spouse, if you have a partner, if you have a family, have your why clear with your partner. They are the person you need the most throughout the entire journey. Yeah, there are nights that I sleep 5 hours. Yeah, there are nights that I sleep 6 hours. Yeah, there are nights that I have to stay up late and wake up early. But you know what? It's all worth it. I'd rather do it now in my 20s, or maybe your situation isn't that one. But I'd rather do it now than have to do it later, when I'm older, when it's harder to do it, when my kids are older and I can't dedicate time. Personally, in my situation, my kids are small, my kids are younger, and in my situation, I'd rather do it now so that when I reach my 30s, now I have more time in place to be able to dedicate to my kids. Yes, the business grow. Yes, they're going to require more time, but it requires time in a different way. It requires energy in a different way. And it allows me space to be able to manage myself as I need to manage myself. It begins to allow me maybe space to have employees and to have more free time for myself. And again, it's a seesaw. Even when my business is there in my 30s, there's going to be moments where I dedicate more time to the business. And then there's going to be moments where maybe I could pause for a series of months. I love the story that Alex Hormozi says, where he goes years of dedicating ton of energy to his business, and then out of nowhere he goes months without dedicating any time to the business. He just disappears with his partner. So again, if you are in a situation where you're thinking about your business, get to it. Don't wait for later. Don't wait for when you're older, when you know you haven't accomplished goals anymore, you're more tired, you're more worn out. Do now. Sacrifice short term so that long term you can begin to enjoy the things that you sacrificed before. For me personally, short term pain comes with long term presence for my family. Maybe that is your situation. If you're starting a family, short term pain now will bring long term presence later down the road. Again, if you are dealing with this, begin to put in the work. Stop making excuses. As I've said before, excuses are for the weak. As much as there are situations where it is warranted, excuses are understandable, and there are situations where maybe you are weak in your life in that moment. I don't want to talk down on people that make excuses either, but don't be the person that makes excuses for the rest of their life. Begin to accomplish the things you want to accomplish by sacrificing now and gaining more for long-term purposes. I want you to do something a little bit different for today. Tag a spouse or your partner in the comments below and remind them of how grateful you are for what they've done in your life, how grateful for you are if you're starting a business and you're starting a business, how grateful you are of what they've done in your business by supporting you. Maybe not directly with your business, but indirectly with your family. If you don't have someone to take care of your family, you don't have a business to start in the first place. Your family needs to be taken care of first, and then the business can have time. Because of my amazing wife, I'm able to have the time to dedicate to my business. I record the video that you're hearing now. So again, give a subscribe to the channel, give a like, put a comment and caption your wife below, or just repost it if you're seeing it in Instagram or Facebook or any of those other social medias that you reposted. Again, don't forget this. If you want more real talk on the reality of entrepreneurship, subscribe to Santos Financial. And don't forget, here you find your path to freedom.